Hey ladies and gentlemen, today we got Brad Cooper, reacting to Powerpuff Girls, and I have a feeling this is going in a very bad direction because girls in cartoon rebooted by special people, usually. Let's remove the lens. Let's give it a neutral chance. Let's see. Hey, remember, like, share, hit the bell notification. Let's go.
This is from a couple years ago, but I think it's relevant to bring it back just considering where Hollywood has gone and what Daily Wire is doing to try to combat this, because this story is genuinely disgusting and it really embodies some of the creepy dark undertones of Hollywood, so we're gonna get into it. But before we talk about it, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section episode. This whole ordeal revolves around the Powerpuff Girls. I have never watched the Powerpuff Girls. I never saw the original. I had no idea that they even made a remake. I remember that they were trying to do a live action version, which actually I think I auditioned for like 3 years ago, probably. I don't know if anything ever came from that, but I have never been exposed to it other than seeing people's little, figurines of the girls. But apparently, the 2016 remake of the original TV show had a lot of problems, and not just with audience reception, that was a whole different ordeal, but mainly with the people calling the shots behind the scenes. So this is the tweet that was sent to me today. It says, "Friendly reminder, one of the writers for this reboot self-inserted themselves in to become a love interest to a child."
Okay. I mean, if the writer inserts himself, did he do it as an adult? Because these kids are kids, like really, really kids with superpower. Maps?
Excuse me? Here's the man. There he is, a 30-year-old adult male, and here is his little character.
I
with
know.
Blossom.
And people find it surprising that I be like, hey man, there's a slippery slope. You wanted this, marriage, and then this, and somebody's like, yo, where you wanna go with this? Now we have love interests like that in a weird way that you inserted yourself. So before you were labeled Maps, you already existed? Like 5-6 years ago? We just found out last year. Hey people, watch your kids. Be careful what they watch online. They're gonna normalize this.
A kindergartner. That's one thing about Powerpuff Girls. If you did not know, the Powerpuff Girls, they are kindergartners who happen to have magical powers. Already, I am disgusted. Here is the video that is linked to that tweet, though.
Why, if I were to grade your hair, I would give it the letter A. And now, in the spirit of intergalactic friendship, and maybe more in the future.
That's literally all it is. It is 12 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna wait till she's 18. That is the message that a little kid is going to understand. I can't talk about incel stuff because I'm motivating the people behind it, but nobody is taking in consideration what kind of people is watching this content and be like, I hope a specific girl thinks the same.
But that, again, I have to drive it home, is a kindergartner character. That male character, her love interest, is played by a 30-year-old adult male.
True.
And the character itself is not another kindergartner. This is not some cute little schoolyard crush. It is a high schooler.
Yep.
Wanting to have something more with a kindergartner. If you think that the cartoons that your kids are watching are safe,
They're not.
you might want to think again. But you know what? We've been saying that for months now. However, that little clip was not the only instance. This man was a recurring character in the show. I think he was in 15 different episodes, all revolving around his relationship with the kindergartner, Blossom. Here's another scene.
I also wanted to give you this.
I like you. Do you like me too? Yes or no? Ooh! You have to say something! What are you gonna say? What's your answer?
It's okay. You could tell me your answer tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Tomorrow?
So not only does he have a crush on her, but now she is having a crush on him, and they are playing into that narrative. Now obviously, when this show came out, people were rightfully concerned and began complaining about it and pointing it out online, saying this is very uncomfortable, this is very weird. And the most egregious part of this entire situation is that Cartoon Network is obviously aware of this. They are so aware that every single video that includes this character on the official Powerpuff Girl YouTube channel that has 1.7 million subscribers has the comments turned off. Not even limited. Completely turned off.
That's messed up. You can remind the people that this can be kind of dangerous. So kids are gonna watch it as if it's something normal. Why? The only thing they care about is making money and add unique stuff in there. And when they add the unique stuff in there, they see it as a progressive statement as if, hey man, if kids want to do it, why not? I'm like, what do you mean? They want to watch it on TV? Well, then put some Christian stuff in the cartoon. You're going to get angry at that, right? As if that's not a different religion compared to LGBTQ, depending how you have to look at it, how they react to their action. I'm like, people, come on, man. If I'm in a religion, I know when I see another religion, okay? I mean, you have no idea.
And when you look something up in the YouTube search bar concerning Blossom and this character, some of the scenes that are really notorious, barely anything comes up. The only videos that you can find are these official Cartoon Network ones where you kind of have to search for the individual scenes. And Cartoon Network has not done anything to address or fix the problem.
Let's try it. There is the scene. But when we go down, it's true. Comments are turned off. Okay, brah.
Other than remove people's ability to voice their opinions on the subject. There was one instance, however, where apparently a scene that involved this character that was very weird was removed from the show, but I think that happened before it even aired, like that happened in pre-production. But people thought that this was so pedophilic in nature that many countries chose not to problem, other than remove people's ability to voice their opinions on the subject. There was one instance, however, where apparently a scene that involved this character that was very weird was removed from the show, but I think that happened before it even aired, like that happened in pre-production. But people thought that this was so pedophilic in nature that many countries chose not to air these episodes with this character because it was so gross.
Good.
However, all of this being said, the theory was sort of debunked in 2017 by a Powerpuff storyboard artist named Grace Kraft. This is a well-documented thread on Twitter. People were reposting it a lot in the thread that I was reading, so I wanted to touch on it. She says, I mean, as somebody who worked on the show, I know that that wasn't the intention when the character was first created. The artist thought it would be funny to model a nerdy love interest after him, and then because of that, figured that it was fitting for him to do the voice acting. Plus, PPG crew loves sticking in crew members as cameos in general, some smaller roles, some bigger roles. I can see why folks see this one as a poor choice, but I figured I would give my insight from my experience on there.
You can see why it might be a poor choice? Come on, people. That's like sending a little girl around 3 years old with a string. You can see it's a poor choice, but it might be comfortable.
I think that is very balanced. She's not really defending it. She's just trying to give context. She's obviously admitting that it could be very weird. But the important line there is at the end, I can see why folks would see this as a poor choice. Why didn't anybody else notice that it was a poor choice?
Yeah.
Jake Goldman, who was the one who played this character, whose name is Jared Shapiro, no relation to us. Jake Goldman, who is the writer and the voice actor who the character was based on, has allegedly gone on record saying, no, I did not self-insert into this narrative, and he has basically been backing up Grace Kraft's claims and said that he felt uncomfortable around the whole thing. He didn't really know if he wanted to do it. It's like, dude.
Why did you do it then? Why did you do it then? For the money, right? Okay, amen. People do unique stuff already to be on a show, dancing, movie set, blah, 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 blah. Epstein's or guys doing things to guys to be on a set. And people joke or get angry now that everything has to be gangsterphobic. Really? What about Brendan Fraser that disappeared from Hollywood? Was touched by a gangster high man powerful like the other guy, you know? And then, everybody's, what? That happened? That isn't true. He was a beautiful guy. Of course they want him. Amen. It's all these weird... I'm sorry, I'm not trying to shame LGBTQ, but you are hiding a lot of stuff that nobody wants to admit because they're afraid of the backlash for being right about something, and everybody wants to defend the marginalized group because they're afraid you might snip yourself. And now you have that trickling down slowly to people liking kids. Amen. Accountability. Amen. We need to start making these people not fear for their lives, but fear that the laws work.
If you had the inkling that maybe this would be pedophilic, why would you agree to do it? If you were uncomfortable, and obviously when you are in a work environment, you kind of want to, be a team player, support people, but when it comes to something like
team player, blah, blah, blah.
that, you kind of have to draw the line in the sand. You are still a 30-year-old man playing a teenage character that is interested in a kindergartner. On that note, this reply on the original thread that I was reading cracked me up. It was like, we got him, we fucking got him. It was the FBI. Yeah, this feels like the Twitter version of Catch a Predator, in a way. Even if this guy didn't really intend to do it. This person said, if this was actually not a self-insert and was just someone putting in the writer without his consent or awareness, then while I still hate the show and most people behind it, I do feel bad for the writer who didn't want them to do this, unless he didn't mind in the end. First of all, how do you put a writer in without his consent or awareness? He literally voiced the character.
Yes, he did.
What a bunch of hippy-dippy
baloney.
He was very aware. He was doing that scene. He was giving the flowers to the kindergartner. Somebody replied and said it was debunked as a self-insert and was proven to be an inside joke with the crew, but he has still voiced the character and has been in every episode he was part of the writing team for. He could have done something about it and nobody had any self-awareness.
Yes, if you didn't like the character, don't be there. Somebody will replace your voice, or they will replace the character. They will change your voice. You don't have to be there. You will still there. So it's quite clear you had the incentive to prove I'm part of the team. I want to keep my job. It's not that you really glow, but you do understand metaphorically, I'm right again.
Yes, because Hollywood is full of creeps.
Yep.
If this is their mild inside joke that got on air, that made the cut, I don't want to know what their other inside jokes are. Because they're probably grotesque.
Must wash eyes.
Especially because one of their storyboard artists was literally fired for having pedophile tendencies. For being what we would call in 2022, a minor attracted person. Literally. So this
See?
person's name is Julia Vickerman, and somebody on Twitter posted a screenshot from her Tumblr blog way back when, I think before she got fired, where you can see some of these pedophilic tendencies. She's talking here about going to a carnival in Griffith Park. It is a big famous park in
I remember this story. I remember this is really bad. Look at this.
in LA. And she's talking about going with somebody named Tony. And they're standing in line for a ride. And she goes, oh, but Tumblr, guess who was in line to go on the Sizzler with us? This beautiful, androgynous, long, black-haired, emo 14-year-old boy wearing tight black pants and a black t-shirt emblazoned with the name of some band that probably sucks, and his lip-injected red fake hair mother who looks like a washed-up rock star. Oh, heaven adopt me. Occasionally, I get instantaneous infatuations with strangers that can only be described as overwhelming or annoying depending on how patient you are with me. Tony was nice enough to follow this poor boy around the small carnival with me as I tried to sneak photos. None of which turned out well. I knew that my heart would forever be in turmoil unless...
Imagine if this was a girl. It's like they're pushing the boundaries in a very unique way, in a way that I want to be as evil as the other evil men that supposedly existed, and by doing that, we're going to put a positive light if it's done by a woman. Where's the people? Where's the accountability? It's all about the unity of the woman because it's time for them to be strong. To picture little kids.
Unless I at least tried to talk to him. Oh God, if only his mom hadn't been there. This adult woman, who is a storyboard artist on a children's TV show, is following an androgynous, attractive 14-year-old boy around a carnival trying to sneak pictures of him wishing that his mother was not there. I'd say that's pretty pedophilic.
Yeah.
She continues on. The light of heavenly inspiration shone down on me when I realized we had 2 tickets left, which leaves 0 options as far as rides. The 2 tickets had to be disposed of. Perhaps into the hands of an awkward, skinny-jeaned adolescent Hot Topic customer? I marched over to the rock star mom and her elven boy sitting cross-legged on the grass eating a candied apple. I bent down to give her the tickets. I'm creepy, but I'm not that creepy. I'm not going to talk to her son while she's there. Saying, we have 2 extra blah 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 blah, where's your car so I can follow you home, blah blah blah.
Yeah, you wouldn't talk. Well, if mommy wasn't there, just like you said, you would. So you would do the creepy stuff behind mommy's back.
Sorry, what? You just said you wanted to follow them home? Anyway, then she continues on, and apparently the mom says that she's really nice and said that I was so sweet, etc. And I watched my muse push his dyed black hair behind his ear, exposing epic eyebrows, apple still pressed to his lips, say thank you and smile. This was the best day ever. Why am I so creepy? Hashtag awful, hashtag pedophile, hashtag GPOY.
What? She hashtagged them like that?
It was from April 17th, 2010. Hollywood is literally the most disgusting place on earth. It makes my skin crawl. That was a storyboard artist on Powerpuff Girls. She wrote this 6 years before the show was premiered, and they still hired her. to work on a children's show. Unsurprisingly, actually, this storyboard artist is the person to blame for the infamous twerking scene in this Powerpuff Girls remake. I have it here. Avert your eyes if you don't want to see kindergartners twerking. They're also supposed to be on drugs in this episode.
They're supposed to be on drugs. What the heck? It would not surprise me that just because she is like a tomboy, Buttercups, they're gonna make her trans man or something like that in the future. I would bet money on this that this would happen within a few years.
I mean, obviously, one could look at that scene and just not think about it and go, oh, okay, I guess they're dancing. But when you put it in the context of everything that has gone on with this Powerpuff Girls remake, with the pedophile storyboard artist, with the entire writer's room having inside jokes about an adult man liking a kindergartner, then it gets much more sinister and a lot darker, and I watch that 2-second clip of these kindergartners twerking, and I want to puke.
Hi, I'm disgusted.
One person replied and said, this whole entire thing is utterly horrifying, and it says a lot about how some predators are attracted to working with children so that they can more easily assault or prey on them. I'm glad she was terminated from her job, and it might keep more kids safe. So, I won't go into details, but this is absolutely true. Some of the weirdest and creepiest people in Hollywood are the ones who work on children's television.
True.
Whether that be like Amazon Prime, or Disney, or Nickelodeon. I mean, the whole Dan Schneider thing with iCarly and all of those shows, that man was a predator, is absolutely disgusting and creepy. It's fantastic that he's not working in Hollywood anymore. My own personal experience of this was when I was on a children's TV show. This is probably when I was around 12, and one of the writers seemed really nice, just pretty normal. And I did my, couple episode stint on this TV show, and he kept in touch. And a lot of people in Hollywood, it is a networking industry. They touch base. They say, hey, we're working on this project. What are you working on? Oh, you might be a good fit for this show, whatever. I really thought nothing of it. He usually involved my mom, but it was weird that he never went through my agents. And at one point, he invited me and another girl who was on the show to get lunch and catch up. Her mom was going to be there. And at one point, her mom stepped out, I think, to take a phone call or something like that. So we were walking around with this writer, and immediately he launched into telling us about his lesbian fantasies involving us. 2 13-year-old girls. And then at another point, he said that he wanted to take off my friend's clothing in like a very laughy, jokey way. He stuck his hand in her back pocket, like very, very weird. And I was like, get your hands off of her. I moved out of that real quick. And I felt awful for her though, because I immediately called my mom and said, this guy is creepy. I never want to work with him again. I never want to see him again.
Yeah, but the problem is with this whole freaking situation, the way they promote these scenes for kids on cartoons, they are going to think that is normal. So the next time when it happens, your kid might be, oh, this is just like the cartoon. Yeah, I'm that character. Yoopie doopie.
I saw him at a bunch of events later on and just never interacted with him. He even started doing artwork of young actors later on, like would do little mini portraits of all of these like 12 to 18-year-olds and would try to deliver them to us, and he had a whole Instagram dedicated to it. Like, it was very, very weird. But I felt awful because my friend was so nervous that her reputation would be destroyed if she even brought it up or, said she didn't want to work with him again.
Told you people, they're all jokes. It's a metaphorical thing. Goggle, goggle, goggle. Because it means you prefer to get in a better position because you don't want to expose these people. Because most of these people don't expose each other. They all want to climb pot. They're all goggle, goggle, goggle.
And she was like, well, nothing really happened. And I was like, no, a 45-year-old married man told 2 13-year-old girls about lesbian fantasies involving them. Like, the line has been drawn in the sand. It is creepy. I'm never working with you again. And so that was my one experience with that sort of thing. And obviously, there are so many, former child actors, young actors who I know, who I was close with, who were not as fortunate to get away unscathed, and who did face actual, real, physical trauma when it comes to that sort of thing. And I'm incredibly grateful that I had a mother that taught me how to set boundaries and told me not to put up with that stuff, that got me into self-defense classes, that made sure that I always had somebody that I trusted in the room with me, because other people that was not the case for them, and I just thank my mom every single day for that.
So actually, that's kind of the end of the whole situation. But the point that I'm trying to make is, look, life is special. Get some self-defense classes. I'm not saying that you can control everything, but I see it like this. You have a few choices in life, and you have life. This X this. That is the result that you're going to get. You can never change this X. You can never change stupid people. They're going to exist. But you can make specific choices that whatever you make here will multiply this stupid thing called life. And it sucks sometimes. You have to make certain changes that I don't agree with. You know, it happens. It happens. But guess what? I know a lot of friends that makes very good choices that no matter what this is in life, the percentage that it will be high is super low. And they live a good life. It's the whole social media thing is telling you, no, there is no consequences on your action. Because you can blame everybody if you're right or wrong. It just depends how you feel. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Ending of the video. Gonna make one more. See you guys next time. Peace. Like, share, everything, man. Do that.